the physical mind cannot fathom, it cannot perceive, it cannot even oftentimes hold the vast wisdom of the grandmother. And so we come into a relationship with our spirit team, with our spirit guides, with the mother, with your masculine, spirit guides, and the feminine spirit guides, your angels and your demons. We come into these relationships and begin to uncover and develop and grow intimacy with these spiritual beings. And you know what? It's like, and I've had to remind my spirit team of this, and I've also had to be reminded of this. I know my rank and I know where I come from as a spirit being, but that soul, that spirit being is tethered to this physical body. The self of me is physical. And I don't care how magical you claim to be, the physical has limitations. Okay? The physical has limitations. The physical has to either be put down. This is why when you astral project, you don't take your physical body with you. You can't. Because the physical body is tethered to the physical world. The physical body is a result of the physical mind. The physical reality is a result of the physical mind. So they're all kind of chained to each other. So when you start moving in the spirit as a spirit, you have to leave the physical body where it is, right? And I'm not just talking about like when you actually transition out of the body for good and you pass away or what. I'm talking about just moving about as a spiritual being. I don't know, really who I'm speaking to. I don't know where your spiritual gifts are, if you are an astral projector or if you are, more dream state conscious and things like that, where your dreams are not really dreams at this point, but when you go to sleep, you're actually traveling and going into other dimensions, right? But as you do that, you recognize that the spirit body and the physical body can't stay really conjoined to each other. As you move about in other spiritual, non-physical dimensions. Okay, so the physical mind has a hard time processing or perceiving the infinite wisdom of the mother. Okay, and you will find yourself going through bouts of the ups and the downs of your emotions and feelings concerning whatever process you are in. Many of us are processing into things. We're processing into higher dimensions of spiritual awakening. We're processing into, a different lifestyle of whatever sort. In whatever area of your life, there's something that you are stepping into. It could be a promotion on your job where you're being promoted in a way to where it's like, I'm gonna take the promotion, but I'm gonna have to go maybe back to school to learn how to actually be good at this particular position now, because I'm very knowledgeable, but I need more education. You know what I'm saying? It could be anything. Some of you could be stepping into new marriages. This could be your first marriage where you're learning how to be a married divine feminine. You know what I'm saying? And so on and so forth. So it could be you're stepping into, in any area of your life, you're moving into something. And then we have processes where we move out of something. You're moving out of your hometown and into a new city. And you're moving out or away from a job and having to go and find something else that could be in a whole nother industry that you're not used to. Right? You're moving out of a bad marriage. We move in and we move out of things, and each time we do this, it requires a bit of a process, and it requires divine timing. And when we are in the in between, this is where we often kind of go through the rigmarole. I ain't use that word in a minute, but we go through the ups and downs of having to really understand what's happening, because we're kind of in the void. We're at the void point of the process where we're moving out of something into something, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? And so trusting the process is very imperative when you're in the in between.
I had to deal with the polarities of me as a woman not being okay with this at all. But at the same time, the same woman that's not okay with this is willing, because what she's trying to attain is more important than her physical comfortability. So that's when the surrendering, that's when the yielding, the learning how to trust and be patient becomes even more important, you know. And so that's how you learn the lesson, and you acquire patience, you acquire surrender, you acquire said trust by being put in a situation where you have to actually trust, because you are totally not comfortable with this as yourself, but yourself is also choosing to go through it for the benefit of your soul and spirit. That is when you start learning patience, my nigga. Trust, right? And you start learning your magic as well. Your magic, your the depths of who you are as soul and spirit. Like, you start really learning, because the thing is, right? Certain things in spiritual understanding simply cannot be acquired by watching videos and reading books. There are some things that the spirit divine family has put under lock and key until a particular soul or spirit shows signs that they can be shown the way, the real way. So, you know, this is why, you know, even with me being a spiritual teacher, a spiritual doula, my objective as both teacher and doula is to help you along your journey of self-discovery. It's not for me to be trying to create little mini-me's. That's not what I'm trying to do. No, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to create a proverbial pedestal for nobody to motherfucking put me on. You know what I mean? Like, no. And I thought about this last night, and I was like, I feel that way for two reasons. Because for one, I don't need your pedestal. I'm on my own throne that I earned. It's need with your pedestal. Secondly, it does no service to you for me as a spiritualist to let you put me on a pedestal or a cross. I'm not your savior. Yeah, my bad. I had to check to make sure the sound was working. But I was just sitting here thinking, right? And this might help somebody, because I'm always trying to find the best way for me to master consistency in my life. You know what I'm saying? In various, just consistent, just having the energy of consistency. But the task has been a little daunting, and that's the wrong word and the wrong energy. It's been a learning process, right? Because what I'm realizing I needed to understand first is that consistency that you are trying to bring forth has to be true to the way your spirit moves you, right? And not a consistency that is foreign to your spirit. In other words, you want to approach certain things in your life on a regimen. That's what my mind keeps trying to create. Okay. And see, this is the polarities between the shadow and the light. This is the beautiful push and pull between them. It's not toxic. It's just a push and a pull. When one side needs to learn something, then the other side will pull. Okay. Until balance is accomplished. And so my shadow aspect wants to create, or it could be even my light aspect, but at any rate, my light aspect, I believe, because I believe this has a lot to do with me being a Virgo sun sign. We always want to compartmentalize everything, and people always talk about how Virgos are good at multitasking. Just because in our mind, everything is neatly placed in its proper compartment. Okay. So what I then have to do is to create consistency and balance. I have to visit each one of these compartments consistently at various different times. And each one of those compartments require for me to go into a separate part of my energy. And sometimes I don't be feeling like it. And so what then ends up happening is a certain task or a certain area of my life gets neglected because I'm not really feeling like shifting into the energy that that compartment requires. My mind is trying to solve that problem, right? While my shadow side is saying, okay, let me show you that what is true to you. Although you have a strong analytical compartmental mind and you're kind of under the sway of that energy, you have to master that. The whole point of your astrological birth chart is not to give you an indication. Well, it is, but it's not only to give you an indication of what energies is operating in your life, but it is more importantly letting you know the energies you need to master, because you are under the sway of said energies, and that's not deity. That's not divinity. So this is what makes being on earth what it is, because it's under the sway of certain energies, and everything on the earth is under the sway of the skies. So the divine being who is going after their deity should understand that your birth chart is not just showing you what you need to, know about yourself, or what is, what can be foretold about your life through your astrological chart, or, it's more importantly pointing you to the energies that you came into this dimension under. The objective is to get above it. So your sun, your fire, your fire element, your water element, whatever those placements are, is showing you the science that you need to master, and not be looking at it as a science that you just have to kind of yield to. Like to even say I am a Virgo is actually not appropriate. You understand what I'm saying? But this is how we speak of astrology, and we speak of our birth charts and our placements and stuff as if it is us. And it is, but it is you for you to master. So my sun sign Virgo likes to cause me to put things in proper compartments and regiment everything. The issue is I'm a divine feminine, which means I have a divine feminine energy inside of me, attached to me, watching over me, walking with me, that has the wisdom that is like, no, that's not the way that's supposed to be. Come, let me show you something. Thank you for watching. Please check into the playlist on our channel for the full-length episodes, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace, family.